What's up guys, welcome back to Jack's Patch. I'm Jack, where we talk about permaculture, zero waste, off-grid living and hacks on how to grow organic veggies. Right, so we're at the new farm and each week I'm going to start doing farm diaries, and also we're just going to focus on different parts of the farm. So this week, as it's the start of the farm, it's imperative, as I said in the last one, to set me compost heaps. I'm going to do an episode just on compost, but this episode is focused on silage tarps. So these are like an agricultural silage tarp, and it's to ferment hay for agriculture for animals. But this stuff is like perfect. It's just like black polythene, and all it is the gauge to block out the sunlight. So sometimes you get it like this is green, but you can get it in black. And what that does is that's just going to heat up, like soak all the sun energy in, and keep the soil nice and moist, and that means all the worms are going to come up, gives them a good environment to live over winter, and they should eat all the breakdown of this, because this is going to die off over winter, and we should have like a nice like kind of soil where this is going to kill off the weeds, so it's just going to turn into like a mulch layer. But as you can see, this is, I don't know if you can see the different colour shades of the grass, but this is like the grass that's exposed, and already as we focus on here, it's gone yellowy white, and that's only been under for like a week or so. So you can imagine over a couple of months this is just going to break down perfectly. Ideally, if I had some like manure, which I might do at some point, but I might just put manure underneath and that would break down as well. So we'll put up the tarp, put down manure, wood chips, stuff to break down, help the process, so we've got like a nice organic matter living under the soil when we come to start our raised beds in the new year. So as you can see, you can get this sort of stuff. I got it from a local supplier in Essex, like a farm supplier, Arc Agriculture, but you can get this stuff online where you are in America, Canada, in the UK. Just search online and there should be something within your county or state like doing this. For me, this was like a good investment. It was a little bit expensive, but you can also probably, now thinking about it, I needed it ASAP, but if you've got a little bit of time, I recommend going to farms, or if you know a farmer or know someone that's got a farm, potentially they will have these, as they will chuck them like year by year. As you can see, it's already got a rip in already, but this for me, as I'm only using it as like a tarp, and be able to roll it up in a like year by year, this should last a couple of years for me. Where in agriculture, if they rip in that, they just need to get new ones to keep it completely sealed and keep that fermenting process of the hay going. So I've tarped half my plot. I don't know if you might have seen in the last episode, there was a couple of trees here. There was a couple of trees here, about 4 or 5 trees, but within the paddock it's no good to me. They're going to cast a lot of shade. They were just in the way, to be honest. I mean, I don't really like cutting trees down, but what I've done is I'm going to be planting a whole new lot of like plants anyway, so it's for the greater good. But also as well is, if you are going to cut trees down on your plot, get the guys to chip them on site, and then you've got a great supply of wood chip. So it's just keeping that closed loop system going, so everything, if it's going, instead of taking it away from the farm, just get chips here and reuse it and go back in the soil. So now I've got that cleared, I'm just going to tarp this half, and we're going to leave it for the rest of autumn, winter, and then come spring, as I said, if I don't put it back and put manure and wood chip on it for now, I'll come back and all this stuff will be broken down. So any weeds, all this dry grass should break down into organic matter. maybe you can, maybe you can't see me, but this is what the conditions are like under the tarp. So you've got the light gauge this side and then a dark on top, and as you can see how dark it is, this will be the conditions throughout winter for the soil. So the soil will warm up, as I said, seeds will germinate, but then they'll get suffocated as they're not getting any light, and also not that much oxygen under here as well. So I'm going to try and flatten it as much as I can on the edges, but this is what it's going to be like throughout the winter. So hopefully this turns from grass like that into soil and plenty of organic matter for next year. What I realised when I was under there as well is how weighty, how much weight this tarp has as well. It's like quite a heavy gauge, and yeah, that will just sit on the soil as well and just suppress it as much as possible. But yeah, being under there, you can feel like almost suffocate, like a little bit of suffocation, the weight of it, and again, that will just prevent too much oxygen from getting in. So I've got to do my best to like not airtight, like that's impossible, but just put like scaffold boards around the edge as much as possible, just to block it all out, block all that sunlight, block all that air getting to it too much. A little bit of education on why again I use silage tarps, and this can be also like, you can incorporate this on like a raised bed level for your garden as well. But so just imagine the soil is like a coffee sud in a coffee shop, so it goes in a tamp bin, and then the water gets pressurized through it, and then it comes out like a liquidated version of itself. So say the soil is that coffee, and then throughout the winter, once like all that weather attacks it, all the water goes through it, what you're practically doing to the soil, to this top layer, is almost leaching all those like vital nutrients through the soil, and it's getting attacked and attacked throughout winter. So what nature does is it gives you weeds because it protects itself from that. So the reason you get weeds in a garden, so you might weed that garden all like after the summer into the autumn, you'll weed, and then you'll constantly get weeds in that bare soil, and all it wants to do is protect itself by giving itself like weeds to cover the soil. So all those leaves from the weeds are covering parts of the soil, so the sun and all the weather, the frost, etc. is just attacking the soil all the time. So that is what weeds do. So your best bet is to cover it with like a weed suppressant or like a tarp throughout winter, and so come spring you don't give any chance for those weeds to come up to do that. And also you are protecting it from the weather, so the worms are going to come up and they're going to eat all the organic matter at the top and give it a nice condition. So come spring, weed free and full of organic matter, and that's exactly what you want. And also you're encouraging those worms to come up, and that is exactly the conditions you want. Okay, so yeah, just a little heads up on that. But yes, so that's just like the in focus of the silage tarps for now. So perfect little sunset to finish the video. So any questions, comment below, I can answer them, or if you've seen anything that I can improve on the farm, just give me a shout. Alright, so look after yourself and see you next time for Farm Diaries. Woo.